Hey YouTube, this video is long overdue, but today we are going to be showing off all of my characters, their builds, their artifacts, and the reasoning behind some of the artifacts that I do run on some of the characters. So for anyone out there, especially if you're free to play and you're wondering what you want to work with in terms of resources, because right now we only have 4-star weapons, no battle pass or anything like that, I'll give you the rundown on all my characters and the team setups that I end up using, as well as there's going to be timestamps down below if you guys want a specific character, so do make use of that. So first of all, I just want to show you all the characters that we do have. We have 11 right here. This is my roster, and we are going to be starting off with Jean first. Here are the stats, the details: 52, 150 in terms of crit to crit rate, 105 energy recharge. Weapon, we're rocking prototype Roncore on her at the moment because yes, we are using a gladiator, a 4-piece gladiator set. And it is a physical Jean build. I know it's a physical Jean build. I do not have an Animo set, so I can't run Viridescent on her. Physical does a lot of damage, and it does help me clear the Spiral Abyss, especially against the F2P agents. We have C0 and 888 for the talents. Moving over to Xingqiu, level 71 out of 80, 51 107. We're rocking the Sacrificial Sword, level 90, R1. All of my weapons are R1. Artifacts are 2-piece Heart of the Depth and a 2-piece Noblesse, which I think is best in slot for him. Here's the Flower, Feather, Hourglass, Goblet, and Crown. Not the best substats, but I think what carries him the most, C0, are the talents. Leveling up your talents go a long way. So 8 for the E and the ultimate. Nothing for the auto attack, because that's all I use Xingqiu for. Amber, my level 90 character. I think my first level 90 in the game. 27 165. Now this is a work in progress on Amber. We just recently ended up getting prototype Crescent, my first bow drop in the game after like 6 months. It's also refinement rank 1, and our artifacts is a 4-piece Wanderers, and as you can tell, we have a 4-star artifact. I have not gotten anything better yet, but these are the substats. Pretty good on the Flower, the Feather. We have the Hourglass, and it has 24 crit damage. I have not found another attack Hourglass yet, so hopefully soon, maybe another 6 months, we can replace it or something, right? Pyro Goblet, and a crit damage circlet that's not leveled up yet, plus 13, because I'm kind of conflicted on whether I want to go crit or crit damage, because certain enemies don't have a weak spot, so you can't always go for crit damage. I know most of the Amber builds you see on YouTube are talking about, oh, build crit damage only, just aim for the head, forehead, and that's it. It's not always that simple, especially if you disable a Ruin Guard, there's no more weak spot. Slimes, which is the common enemy in the game, there's no weak spot. So for consistent damage, sometimes I run crit instead and just have crit damage as a substat. It's just my preference, you know what I mean? Because it's not always that simple just to aim for their face, aim for their head, because all enemies don't have a weak spot. So I'm kind of conflicted on what kind of build I want to do. Still experimenting on her at the moment. C0, and the reason why I know people might ask, why do I not use constellations right now? It's just because I'm testing things. I want to test out what you can and can't do in Genshin Impact in terms of characters, especially with the 7 free characters you are guaranteed. So all the 7 guaranteed characters, I do not use constellations at the moment. I will use them in the future. Just for now, I want to test out to say, hey, you can complete this content. You don't even need constellations. You don't need luck. You don't need to spend any money, and hopefully give someone some hope in order to clear that. And that's the same reason for my talents as well, and why I keep them at a baseline of 666, because 666 is pretty much easy to get. Beyond that, you have to rely on boss drops, which is RNG, and you might have used those boss drops on other characters. So I try to keep it all at 666 for now. In the future, I will level them up. Do not worry. So you're going to see that a lot on most of my characters that are the story characters. We have Noelle here, who's level 90. 62 105. I run her with a white blind, refinement rank 1, and a 4-piece gladiator. I go for just auto attacks, and that's it. I normally pair her with Geo main character as a battery, and then just let Noelle take over. You've probably seen her in some of my floor 12 videos for Spiral Abyss. Here are the artifacts right here. We're running defense on these sands, Geo damage for the goblet, and crit. Now, there is something I would like to experiment with Noelle and just trade out for a no blight, or a bow lied rather, and try a 4-piece Bolide to see if that's better. However, me farming artifacts, I haven't quite got there yet. So hopefully in the future I can do an updated build for Noelle and see if that's better or not. Gladiator versus Bolide. 666 for the talents and C0. Here we go. Main character. So we're on the Geo main character front because I normally run Geo for a battery for Noelle or just for pure damage. Right now we're running Geo main character as a support, 4685. If I were to run Geo main character as main DPS, I'd be running them with Festering Desire. As you can tell, we got R5. It was free refinements because of the event. And a 4-piece Gladiator. So I would probably take the artifacts off of like Jean or Noelle or something and just run Geo main character as main DPS with 4-piece Gladiator. But right now we're running a support main character, Bolide, and Archaic Petra. My Flower, my Feather, Gladiator, the Goblet, which is Geo damage bonus, and Crit, which is not the best crit helmet. It's still 18, and those substats are kind of yikes. But we're working with what we got, right? C6, guaranteed, and 666 for the talents. Got +3 because of Constellations. We have Xiangling here. Level 90. 64, 120. We've been kind of changing out artifacts right now. Crescent Pike, R1, level 90 as well. And a 2-piece Bloodstained, 2-piece Crimson. Now, normally I would run a 2-piece Crimson, or a 2-piece Bloodstained, 2-piece Gladiator for best in slot on my Xiangling for main physical DPS. But right now, I've been trying to go back and forth between like support and DPS because I've been trying to go through the Spiral Abyss and whatnot, and I don't have too many artifacts to spread around for all my characters. But yes, normally if I would run support or main DPS on her, I would run Bloodstained 2-piece and a 2-piece Gladiator, if you were wondering. If you're running support Xiangling, I would run Witch's End 2-piece, so Crimson Witch of Flames, and then a 2-piece Noblesse as well. So I have to farm up on my Noblesse dungeon and get that done. And I would also swap out Crescent Pike for a Prototype Star Glitter. So that's also level 90. I have it on hand just in case I want to run her as just pure support. Constellation 0 as well. And 666 for the talents, like always. Kaeya, recently ascended him. Level 80 out of 90. 53, 129, 154 energy recharge. Iron Sting for EM, which does do quite a lot of melt damage. It's level 80. And our artifacts are a 2-piece Blizzard and a 2-piece Noblesse. So as you can tell, we run Kaeya as strictly support unit. The Flower, the Feather, the Hourglass, and our Goblet cryo damage. And then our Circlet crit. C0, even though we have Constellations, and 666. The game just loves giving me story character Constellations. I've only ran Kaeya as a support unit, so this is mainly the artifacts that I will always run on him. Just a 2-piece Noblesse and 2-piece Blizzard. Fischl, level 80, 19, 155 for 151, 177 energy recharge. Our weapon is Favonius Warbow. I love running Favonius Warbow for the energy recharge. Even though she doesn't really need it, she does provide that energy for my other teammates. I've ran that in some of the team comps for floor 12. And I did try out, I have the Windbloom Ode, it's already level 90. Some people might say in the comments, use the Windbloom Ode, right? I did try out the Windbloom Ode. However, I had a much harder time clearing floor 12, chamber 3, because of the Windbloom Ode. So instead, Favonius Warbow helped me because I was able to generate more energy for Lisa. Just to keep that in mind. And I also I recently did get Constellation 1 on Fischl. So I do want to try out a main DPS Fischl in the future. But for now, we're running her as pure support. So I'm running a 2-piece Gladiator, 2-piece Thundering Fury, which I think might be best in slot in terms of just support if you're just popping down Oz. Here's the Flower, the Feather, the Hourglass, electro damage for the Goblet, and crit damage for the Circlet. I think that was because I don't have any other pieces and I wanted to run Gladiator, right? I think that might have been it. Oh, I have this Gladiator piece down here if I want, but then that's going to mess up my Thundering Fury. If you ever see anything that's like out of the ordinary, I already do have this too. I could technically run it. That's attack, and this is attack. It's 16 though. Most of my artifacts are not leveled up to 20, as you can clearly tell, and my artifacts are all over the place. We need, like this one's even 16. Look at all this. 16, that's 16 down there. 16. This is 16. Most of my artifacts are scuffed, but this is what you guys wanted. You guys wanted to see my build that I'm rocking so far. It's still a work in progress. I leveled up her auto attacks to 6, Knight Rider to 8, and her ult is still at 4. So Fischl is the only character that I've leveled up talents beyond 8 and activated constellations because she's not a part of the core 7 that are guaranteed. Hopefully in the future we can get loadouts to make it a little bit easier to manage our artifacts, right? Mihoyo, please. Here we go. We got Lisa, 70 out of 80. For details, 51, 74, and 191 energy recharge. She's rocking the map Amir, even though I do have Thrilling Tales. I know people love to recommend that. I've been trying to stick to some of the craftable weapons because I know that's a gacha weapon, and I know when I rolled I didn't actually get lucky and get the weapons for Thrilling Tales. Maybe some other people didn't get lucky either, but I'm pretty sure everyone has a Thrilling Tales R5 if you did wish. And we did end up getting the Witsith recently as well with Favonius Codex because we rolled on the Rosaria banner. But currently we're still just rocking Map and Mare on her. Gets the job done. Artifacts is Gladiator and a 2-piece Gladiator, 2-piece Thundering Fury. I wouldn't say that's best in slot. I'm not too sure. I'm honestly just experimenting and trying out different builds on her. But here's the Flower, Feather, Energy Recharge for the Gladiator, Electro Damage, and crit damage. I run Energy Recharge on the Gladiator for Lisa strictly for floor 12 against the Ruined Graders because comboing that with Fischl, I'm able to regen Lisa's ult relatively quickly, and we can pop her ult down, which if we read the talent, it says opponents hit by Lightning Rose, which is their ultimate, have their defense decreased by 15% for 10 seconds. You'd be surprised on how far that goes. That does a lot of damage, or it helps dramatically in terms of doing damage to the enemy. I would definitely recommend trying that out if you haven't. If you do have Elisa and you normally run her, try to run her as Energy Recharge and try to spam down her ultimate on the enemy. If you're struggling with any of these Spiral Abyss floors, we do have C0 over here as well. And then we have Barbara, 70 out of 80, 49, 101, 204 Energy Recharge. Prototype Amber is still level 50. I'm stubborn on leveling up my healer. You know, I always think just don't get hit and you'll be fine. But in all honesty, I would like to get Amber leveled up to 90 in the future. Hell, even all the core 7 characters we have would be nice to get them all up to 90. I think we have like 4 out of the 7, so only 3 more. We need Lisa, Barbara, and who else? Kaeya to level 90. And same thing with her weapon, Prototype Amber. It's a craftable weapon. I'd love to level that up as well. Do a bit more healing. And right here, I would normally run her with a healing set, but I'll be honest, I foddered it because like I said, I had the thought and I had the mindset of just don't get hit, shield up, kill the enemy first, you'll be fine. I do regret it because I miss my Maiden's Beloved. Floor 12 was probably the hardest floor 12 of the Spiral Abyss that we've gotten so far with the Geo Bishops. So I'm running a 2-piece Wanderers group, just any artifacts really that I could find, some scraps. I have a few plus 20 artifacts I'm not using on any character, so I'm just like, whatever. Lisa, you can get whatever the fuck you want. We'll just give you anything, right? So hydro damage. I tried to build a DPS Barbara to see how that went. Surprisingly, it did do well. I'm not going to lie. I was trying out DPS Barbara and I put like sacrificial fragments on her, surprisingly. But maybe I can put like something else, you know? Maybe we'll do some meme videos in the future and do a Frost Bearer on Barbara and have her solo Oceanid with a level 90 Frost Bearer. Who knows? My Barbara is also C0. However, I do have 4 constellations, so technically a C4 whenever I'm ready. Thank you to the Rosaria banner for giving me a bunch of Barbara constellations. Just what I wanted. And her talents are 666 as always. And then Bennett is Bennett. We don't talk about Bennett. Dark Iron Sword. I don't really use Bennett. Constellation 0. Talents are that. Yeah. We put scraps on him too. We don't really care too much about Bennett. And you might be wondering, I don't have. The problem is I have too many one-handed sword users in the game, as you can clearly tell. Main characters using Festering Desire, Jean, Prototype Roncor, Xingqiu, Sack Sword, and Kaeya, Iron Sting. I have no more. I have no more 4-star weapons to give them, and I don't really wish on the gacha too often, so I'm hoping that in the future I can get a flute or some other weapon that I can give Bennett so he can stop rocking a dark iron sword. But we don't really need Bennett for most of the content in the game, or a role for any of the content. You don't need Bennett, period, for any of the content in the game. So I'm perfectly fine with the other 10 characters that we have going so far. And that is it. That is my build. That is my build for all of my characters. Like I said, in the future, we will be adding constellations. I'm not sure when, but we will be adding constellations for all the characters. We will be leveling their talents up beyond 6 for the core 7. And we'll also be leveling up the core 7 to level 90. So you're going to be seeing a level 90 Barbara, Lisa, and Kaeya relatively soon. And all of that is what you need for the Spiral Abyss. You don't need much else. Hope this video was helpful, informative. Anything else? Any other questions? Please leave them down below in the comments section. I'm always reading through the comments and replying to them. You can always, you're more than welcome to join my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/enviosity. We have a lot of wholesome people over here. They're saying bye YouTube and all that other stuff. It's technically a Q&A every single day. I'm live daily for a few hours, and it's a Q&A. You guys can feel free to jump in, ask a question. Maybe I'll see it. Or join the Discord server if I'm offline and time zones everything, right? Discord.gg/enviosity. That is it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope this was helpful, and I will catch you guys in the next one.